Now you're an esthetician, right?
Correct.
And where do you practice? Where do you work?
I'm in Beachside down in Melbourne, Florida area.
How long have you been an esthetician?
Since 2004.
Okay.
One of my first clients was a Bell's palsy, and that's what I saw. This technology was based after getting results from Bell's palsy clients. So she wanted to do permanent makeup, and I said, well, I'm not going to do it because if your face ever gets better, then you're going to have crooked eyebrows. Yeah. And she goes, oh, well, the doctor told me that I can't do anything about it. I've had it for 7 years. And I said, no, there's a technology that I can help you. So I did, in one treatment, her face popped right back. And so I was able to do her permanent makeup, and she, to this day, it's held, and she looks gorgeous. And she was an older lady, probably in her 70s, and is very happy, and has come to me for many facials, and her daughter as well. So anyway, so then my next client, she wanted to come in to look at some makeup that I had, and she was on a cane. And she, I think, was 59 years old at the time, little old lady, gray hair, and she could barely walk. So she said, well, do you mind if I sit down while you talk about the makeup? I said, no problem. She goes, oh, thanks. She goes, I literally can't stand for more than 2 minutes. She goes, I've had 7 surgeries on my back. She said she was going to have a surgery on her knee because she had tore her meniscus. Then she said her parathyroid, and she said she couldn't sleep on her shoulder for 20 years, and she was going to have her wrist surgery, probably for carpal tunnel. So anyways, I said, wow. I said, heck with the makeup. Let me do this treatment on you. I think, you'd probably get some good results. And anyways, so during the treatment, it seemed to go, she would say she would feel in the places that she had just told me she had issues, her shoulder, her knees, her back, and she's wiggling, and she's like, what the heck, I can't find that pain. And
what kind of treatment did you do on her?
It was just the facial rejuvenation. So I'm like, wow, because I couldn't believe everything she just told me. It was, my first experience with it, really, for pain. And well, she also told me she had peripheral neuropathy, restless leg syndrome, acid reflux, sleep apnea. She was on 14 medications. And anyway, so she was a snowbird in Florida, and she, didn't have a lot of money, but she came back. She only did the one treatment, and she would come back once a month. And she did 3 treatments, then she had to go back up to New York. And when she went to her doctors, which were 2 different ones, they were both like, what the heck have you been doing? Because, you don't need your wrist surgery, your thyroid had, I guess, balanced out or something. And she was immediately off her cane that week. She said she no longer used her cane. And also, she said she was able to sleep on her shoulder now after 20 years of not being able to. So that blew me away. 2 different doctors. And so she was up there for 3 months, and she kind of was starting to, was getting a little bit hurt in her back again, after having 7 surgeries. So she decided to fly all the way back to Florida just for my treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought, wow, well, that's a testimonial that she actually would, get on a plane just to come for my treatment. She got right back on, and then she's been fine since. So I don't know, that was like 4 treatments. And so then her neighbor came in because she heard all the testimonials, and positive reaction she had from the treatment, and she wanted to do it for the wrinkles. So in the meantime, her migraines went away. She said every month she could set her watch to her migraines, and she was 54 years old and still having migraines pretty much her whole life, and they had gone away. So
how many ELR treatments did she have before the migraines went away?
Probably 5 or 6. And
you're just doing the face?
Just the face. And then recently I had a gentleman who was 50 years old come in through the face again. He had told me when he was 8, he had some kind of spinal, I don't know, stenosis, I can't remember the specific name, but some kind of disease that he has as a child. But basically what happened was he couldn't feel his entire left side of his body, but he had pain on the right side of his back. And so knowing what I know with helping others, I thought maybe he could help him. So through the face again, I did the treatment. And when I remember it was on one of the points on the side of his right cheek, he sat up. And he's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I feel something in my left side. And he already hasn't felt it since he was a kid, and he's 50. So I was like, okay, great, well, lay back down because I need it to, go maybe in the feet. You'll feel something different. And so a few seconds later, he felt something on his leg. And I said, no, a little bit more. And then he felt something in his heel. And finally, he felt something in his toe. As soon as he felt that, it was like a rush of blood just went to his feet. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can feel my leg. So I don't know how to explain it, but it just, he couldn't believe it. And his pain went away on his right side and had the circulation, I guess, or something had, gotten through, or some blockage. I know he has a lot of emotional issues dealing with divorce and losing his child and all that, so it could be emotionally related, I don't know. So that was pretty interesting right there. And, also, obviously I have a lot of clients that have had good results on their facial. I had a client just yesterday, actually, she left me a message that her husband, she was telling me her husband had just got some money from his father that passed on, and she wanted to get a facelift. So she had thought she had got a great deal from a doctor for $11,000, to do it. And she originally just came in to do a peel on her face, and I said, let me try just the bar probes and see what happens. So I just did her neck, and she kept saying, oh, my jawls, and so I just did a little bit on her face and in her eyes. She was telling me she was going to get a bluff and all that too. And she had one, she said, but it didn't hold, so she was going to have to go back and get another one. So anyways, she left me this message saying that her husband said she thought she went out and got a facelift because her face. And I didn't even, Jet's just with the bar probes. Yeah. And she's like, you're going to be my esthetician for life. She said, don't you ever move away. So I thought, wow, for $11,000, I could do a lot of treatments and even get better results, through doing the procedure. So that was just yesterday. So.